Uh, I've got a lot of other links to Still Life, but also a PDF that shows you examples with yellow lines that I've drawn in to show direction. People like Cezanne, Picasso, I picked a few. I'm picking those because the older ones because they, even Picasso in his early years, did pretty traditional, but then quickly moved away from that to more abstract. Today's artists are using a lot of video installations, still paintings, but they don't tend to use these rules as much. But you're still taking a class on foundational drawing, which you need to learn first. You always need to learn the rules first, and then you can go on and spread your wings. So I just noticed that when I lay another piece of paper, you should be aware of this, it gets the charcoal on your paper. Not that this is going to be super finished, but just so you know, this is something good to show you. So what I've done here, this is about composition, not value. So this is actually from the gesture week. And I wanted to take you a little bit further on this. So, and then the videos are really great. It's a guy I found on YouTube who, and I think I mentioned this before, they have way more sophisticated equipment than I do. So there's two pictures I want to show you here that I've done and take them further. So started out with the gestures, so I was really able to get from the picture, get down the shape of this. And then I'm gonna work on, this is on the Still Life here. I'm using a charcoal pencil. You can now use, I'm requiring from, I think from value to this on, when you're drawing, you can then start using pencils, but I want you to use the, again, not the ones you use for just writing, I want you to use these graphite, woodless, or there's several other kinds of drawing sets. I'll show you what those look like. These are a little bit, when you really get into more, if you want to, more detail. Some people just don't want to do that. They like the gestural. But this is just one. It's called Studio Series. I'm pretty sure I got this at Michael's. And this shows the different numbers I was talking about earlier in an earlier video. Okay, so these are a little bit out of the norm here. These are the hard ones. So these are the ones that really can give you some real control over line. After you've learned how to do what you've learned how to do so far, you can use these, but I still encourage you to use not the hard ones, but the soft ones. If you get to a point where you've gotten a really, you're really at a finished point where you want to go further, I'm just trying to put these in order here. 3, 5, 4, 3, and this is 4B. The B's are the soft ones. So this would be, I'm doing the opposite here. There's 8, 6, 5, and 4, and 2. Those are the typical ones. They're the same descriptions or names as these, just different. These have the wood around them. It's the same way that you would use them too. You would use them, especially the softer ones. You would still use them like this because you get more control, especially when you're doing value. And then obviously when you're using charcoal, like I showed you before, this is why I preferred early on that you use this, because you can just blend this so beautifully into this beautiful shade of value and then go out to medium. So, and then let's try this. This usually breaks up the line there. But you would use this first. And you can see that makes it much more gentle. Okay, and then B is kind of between the these here and the card. So if you get a set like this, you're welcome to. It doesn't have to be this. This one had a ton of other stuff in it. I think they had sandpaper in here, which is nice for shaving out your, you should have a pencil sharpener too, but this can shave down nicely. Erasers, stuff like that. So this is I got that years ago and I don't use it that often. Okay, so if we go in here, we use the charcoal pencil. Actually, I'm not going to use that first. I'm going to use this one, 6B, because I've done quite a bit, like I said. Then I can go in and put in the value first as we get more finished. So this would be the dark side, and you can see the gestural is falling away after this, and the gesture is actually making part of the line, and this with almost hatching, which you've seen also in demos, but that can be moved into what I like to use this. This gets darker, as you can see. The contrast is really nice to see when you're doing one thing against another. Plus it makes a good contrast with the white, which is called implied line. So let's just go ahead and do this. And then just like I was doing over here, this down here is, I'm going to put a little different thing there, the thing it's sitting on. And that way it makes, if you go a little bit over here, you can see the bulbous shape here. So then we go into the medium. You don't have to do this way or this way, and then come over here because the light's hitting and it's not going to hit back here. But this spot here is going to get lighter. And you go up here. I would go light because this would be well, let's just make this not a see-through. If it was a see-through, you want to go a little bit lighter. If it's not, if it's like a solid clay one, then you could go as dark as you want. And here is where you can start shaping it in a more finished way. And I also encourage you to get white pencils, or you can use pastel. In one of the examples of the PDFs I show you, it starts out with two different things. One's a setup like this, and the other one is starting to use pastels, which we'll do next week. So here, and these are flowers, so I can now start differentiating them a little bit more. And again, on this side, this is one that goes over that. On this side, we'll just leave these here. They would be lighter. The little part in the middle there would be dark on one side, light on the other. So you really start to set up how you know that it's beyond that other one. Here you'd want to do partial and redraw the line. Partial dark, is it still hitting that? You can use an eraser to get further out. This one is showing up here so the light would hit it, but down here you're getting the real dark stuff. most of these go, as they go into the inside here, would be light and dark. So the tips would be light. This is where you can go in with pastel, which I'll show you. So just think in the picture these were more overlapping like that. Because I was gesturing them in, they didn't look quite like that. Okay, I'll give you an example here. I'm using this instead of white. This is how you would now go in with that. And leave those white. Leave this white. This one is it's just like this orientation. You can't really see a lot of it, but you know it's from the side. So this would be, the backs of these would be darker. Again, you can barely see any of the middle part there. And then a little one that's flopping down. And this one is much larger, but it's the same thing. It's pushing out, and it's got more of these inside. They're not uniform usually. And this one's also falling down over this, so it's gonna really, and this is falling down behind this, so that would be darker. This would be darker. This would be behind that. This would be dark here. So just always think about where's the light coming from, and if it's doing the whole thing or not. Now this is going down to the stem here, and this is on top where you can see it, the opening. This one would also have a stem that would go down all the way to the bottom. To make them look curved, you would do the dark and the light. This one has a little bit of a lip there, so it would show over here, and over here it would be lighter. And inside, to show this is an opening that these are pressing up against. And there was one other flower here. And you know, you don't have to go perfectly by, usually you're using photographs. They don't have to be perfect. Flowers aren't. So these can be, you know, very different looks. And then down there. Now obviously with a hard pencil, you're going to be able to go in and get a little bit more. These just don't, these look like regular pencils. That's why I don't like them. They don't give you the darkness. You can see here, it's a sharper edge, but you can also get a sharper edge with a 6B. I'm going to get one of these. Let me go with the 5B. This lets you go down and really see. It's the more realistic looking. You can also, this one's behind that, so you can make it a little bit darker, but it still should look like a real line there. This one needs to be showing that it's all the way down. Okay, so there was hardly, this came from a picture, there was hardly any, there was only 3 of these, so now I'm using the 5B again. These would be, this is actually falling over, like I said. So this, let's see, this would be kind of like this. Okay. And the middle part there. So now you have this look more realistic. The depth of that and the opening of like a vase or a cup, if the light's here, you would obviously show this part on this edge, and then because the light's hitting it pretty, pretty substantially here, you would just show that, and then as it got over here, it'd get a little bit lighter, so you can see almost a 3D effect there. And then this helps to really, you could go down so it actually looks down. So, and you could just work with that however you want. Remember that the light, or either pastels, which you should have by now, will be able to, you'd be able to go in and really make these light on this side. We're going to work with pastels when we work with color. Now, coming here would be the opposite. So you would be doing the dark side here. It's almost, I'm using almost hatching. Cast shadow, which would be pretty far out. Super dark at the bottom. And you can start reshaping that. This is what that is so great for. Look at how that makes it just super black. And then I'd go in, let's see, going with that really black one here. I'm going to finish this first. Okay. Now, let's finish this off a little bit. These would be lighter, like I said. The lip would be light on this side, dark on the other. So now you have a little bit more realistic look. You can always combine hatching with the smooth one. This is where you can make the line a little more sharp. So I'm just showing you, you don't need just pencils to do this. That's what these are for. And you can get in there and just make it as clean as you want. A little bit of shadow under there. You're always working with very, just real soft and gradual. As it moves over to there. There also is a line here where you can see that this is the water line. It goes over. Anyway, and you can also use your fingers. This also is a great way of doing that. It's in some of the other videos that I've given to you. Let's finish this off. Now at the end of the course, you are going to be able to do whatever you want, and you could do as refined, because you're going to be learning through these examples. As you want. This is still showing much gesture here. So then this, you do that so you can see it starts finishing it off. And then, like I said, you can go in with the bright. And because we already have that there, I'm going to go do this one. But nature, doesn't really, unless it's something falling from a window, which could be a sharp line, nature really isn't about sharp lines. It's very organic. Now, the apples I showed you during one of the other videos in the beginning, this apple here, now they're sitting behind each other, so this one's separated. You're going to have a cast shadow here from the vase itself, and then shadows in here because there's several here. This would be pretty dark. Shadow here. this would actually go all the way out. Because this is here and blocking the light, you would go